Welcome to Weaving Together Past, Present, and Future. This exhibit is curated by 8 graduate students in the Folklore Department at Memorial University for our museums class taught by Dr. Kelley Totten. The exhibit will introduce you to the Mi'kmaq Wampum Belt tradition through Kelly Anne Butler's Grenfell Campus Wampum Belt project. Wampum belts are useful and powerful devices for preserving collective stories. Each symbol represents a story, and the stories on the Grenfell Campus Wampum Belt came from individuals and groups from all over the province. The belt has been woven by over 400 people, and by weaving the symbols into a single belt, the project spreads a message of interconnectedness and reciprocity, and honors the Mi'kmaq, Innu, and Inuit communities that live within Newfoundland and Labrador.
So, developing an exhibit during a pandemic was really very challenging because we were working from home without meeting each other. We also couldn't visit the space when we were developing the design map. So, all of those challenges were there. Another challenge I would say was the strict deadline. Like we were working for a very strict deadline and we had to finish the exhibit within 1.5 months. So, that was another biggest challenge for us.
My favorite part of the exhibit was learning about Wampum Belt's cultural, symbolic, and historic significance. Being able to interview one of the participants in the project was an unforgettable experience, both personally and professionally. The stories and the messages behind the symbols are such an important component, especially in their ability to convey a message of unity, collaboration, and reciprocity.
My favorite part about planning this exhibit was actually learning about the tradition of the wampum belt. To me, the belt is so fascinating because it's simultaneously an aesthetic object. I think it's really, really beautiful to look at. And it's a cultural symbol. And it's a literal purveyor of stories and memories and knowledge. So to be able to bring in the public to the Craft Council, to invite them to learn about this tradition by actually doing it, that is a hallmark of Indigenous education right there, learning by doing. So it's really empowering. It's a way to connect with other people and with the past, present, and future. And I'm so grateful for the opportunity to be part of this exhibit. And I'm very impressed that we managed to pull this off amidst the pandemic.
The most interesting part of this exhibit process for me was being able to sort of take all the ideas that we were coming up with and really visualize them by creating a floor plan of the space, which then was able to sort of guide how we were laying out the exhibit.
My favourite part of this exhibit has been seeing how many people have contributed symbols to the belt, symbols that are important to their communities or their heritage, or ones that have a more personal connection. And then looking at how all those symbols have come together to form something that's really unique and really a new variation on this old tradition. And I think that's incredible.
My favorite part of this whole process was learning about the symbols on the belt and what they represent. There are 22 different symbols on there, and they have been woven by so many different people from so many different walks of life. And each symbol represents an important story that'll be passed along each time the Beduce, or the keeper of the belt, reads it during an event. There are a ton of different levels of connections between the people involved in the belt weaving and its creation, and I love that this exhibit will only add to those connections. We hope that visitors to this exhibit are inspired to imagine new futures for education in this province that involve Indigenous histories and ways of knowing. Thank you for joining us.